It's great to be here. We are very excited with my colleagues from the Nemetschek Group, coming from a little bit everywhere in the world, but especially coming from Europe, because we are a German-based headquarter company in Munich. So welcome again. Thank you. We are very pleased to open our first Nemetschek go-to-market office here in India, here in Mumbai, and we will talk about it later. But what I just would like to address here, and you know, most of you here in this room are experts in the construction industry and infrastructure industry. And as you know, the construction industry is facing a lot of challenges. And especially the last few years, when you look at inflation rate and interest rate increasing, where we come from, especially in Europe, the residential market has suffered a lot. But overall, digitalization in the AECO sector, architecture, engineering, construction, and operate and manage, is still growing. Growing because there is clearly an understanding from all the players more and more in the overall value chain and life cycle that digitalization is a way to help the construction industry to be, first of all, more efficient, but also more sustainable. And if you look at India, the construction market here is massive. It's already very soon the top 3 largest construction markets in the world. And frankly, just on the, can you hear me? With the microphone, yeah. And on the economical side, so India is today already in the top 5 largest economy in the world. And just a matter of time, very soon, India will become the top 3 largest economy in the world. And if you look at some of the numbers, the residential and commercial market is to touch $800 billion by 2029 here in India. And if you look just at architecture design software market, this is a CAGR of growth of around 12% between 2024 and 2032. The construction industry is really facing a lot of challenges in India, but globally. First of all, 90% of the projects are late or over budget. I mean, you are all working in industry, so you know that quite well. Even people here, journalists or editors, even probably for your own private, individual small construction project, if you want to renovate your bathroom, for example, likely also that you are also facing some delays and being over budget. But the main issue is that 40% of the global CO2 emission is coming from the construction industry. And not only from the design and planning and construction phase, but majority is coming from the operate and manage phase. Then 20% of the material used in a construction project are wasted, which obviously, especially the last 3 years, is becoming a huge issue with all the supply chain issue that we have and all the price cost material increase that we have. But last but not least, there is a huge labor shortage in construction. We are lacking good, skilled resources in construction, like in any industry, but especially in the construction industry. And then if you take all these different challenges and if you look at the margin of a construction project, and some of you know that quite well, it's more in the low single-digit margin. Unfortunately, it's easy to potentially be in the red and not have a profitable business or profitable project. So business as usual for the construction industry is not an option any longer. We need all players to really adapt themselves and adopt more software solutions. First of all, to streamline workflows, to really project manage better their projects, to deliver on time and on budget, already early phase, in the design phase, to really make sure we measure the quantities of material needed in a construction project. We need also to make sure we design greener building. And overall, in the operate and manage phase, to have predictive maintenance, but also energy efficiency use cases. And then, if you look at the Indian market, in addition to everything I just mentioned, work site safety is also an issue. In many markets, but we can see that clearly as one of the challenges in India. Adoption of digitalization. Well, that's not only an Indian issue, but globally, the construction industry is the lowest digitalized industry in the world. Or maybe hunting and fishing is less digitalized than construction. But clearly there is a huge opportunity of growth of digitalization to help all the players to be more efficient and more sustainable. The supply chain issue for raw materials here in India, and of course, all the transportation and logistic issue that we are facing in the market. So we see 4 trends which are providing kind of an answer to the global and local challenges. First of all, as you also know quite well, especially in large construction project, on infrastructure project, it's very fragmented. You end up with multiple solutions. Multiple software providers are there. And therefore, we always push the Nemetschek Group, open solution, and interoperability. We were the one already many years ago who pushed for open BIM, open BIM, open standard together with Building Smart, pushing IFC file to make sure that there is not so much loss of data when you move from one workflow to another. And really make sure that we as a Nemetschek Group, we streamline workflow. We are becoming the bridge instead of having a siloed approach and therefore having data loss. Second piece is artificial intelligence and digital intelligence, especially when you look at generative design and generative AI. Here there are a lot of opportunities to support the market, but in an ethical and also trustworthy way. Digital twins, which is nothing new in other industries, especially in manufacturing or aviation, but clearly in construction, digital twins is clearly a way to help in the overall life cycle of construction, but also in the operate and manage side to have predictive maintenance and also energy efficiency use cases. And last but not least, digitalization can help in the overall life cycle around sustainability. So first, interoperability. Again, open BIM is really something which we are proud of. I think open BIM is starting to have more and more momentum in few markets, especially in the European Union, but also in Scandinavia, in the Nordic markets, in Australia, we can see it more and more. But even in Asia, if you look at Singapore and Hong Kong, in Singapore now, starting from this year, any projects which are more than $3 million, private sector, residential, infrastructure, public sector, open BIM is mandatory. So you need to deliver together with a project IFC file BIM model. Artificial intelligence. Again, we see AI or digital intelligence as a way to help our customer, to be their co-pilot, to help architects to become an augmented architect, to help engineer to become an augmented engineer. And we are doing that with a way that it has to be ethical and trustworthy. A lot of our customers are creative people. If you look at architects, but also you will see that we have also a media and entertainment business with artists. So we want to make sure we help them in an ethical and trustworthy way. We help them to automate some of the tasks that are repetitive. We help them, for example, with something we launched recently on GRAPHISOFT Archicad or on Vectorworks or AI Visualizer, which is really to help to do quick sketching, or once you have a BIM model, to say, okay, I want to add 4 floors and all apartments with 2 bedrooms, we should add 2 balconies, and I would like to have the north face in red brick and all the rest in wood, etc. And this is done immediately, So you really saving a lot of time, but also on the sketching part for architects, this AI visualizer is helping a lot. Then Bluebeam also launched one of our portfolio company and brand doing collaboration software to exchange PDF file and doing markup on PDF. Bluebeam also launched quite new AI features recently, and we can describe that to you more offline or after the dinner, including a 2D to 3D, so to taking few PDF files and to make a 3D view of it. But again, we are looking at AI to become an AI-first company as a software company, but in an ethical and trustworthy way. Then digital twin. We just launched a dTwin solution, and NC and Mark will give you a short presentation of it, which is an open data-centric digital twin of a building, where you can have all the historical data of such asset, which can be on a building, but other type of asset. And the data could be BIM model if available, but if not, it can be anything. Pictures, video, PDF, specification of materials, anything. Any type of data coming from any sources. And then we are layering all this data as a digital twin in conjunction with live data, with IoT and sensors. And here the use cases are mainly for people operating and managing complex assets or complex buildings, airport, data centers, hospital, clinics, etc. And the use cases are around predictive maintenance and also around energy efficiency. And we just launched this dTwin solution a few months ago. Interestingly, we were pitching it first to people operating and managing complex assets or buildings, and a lot of people in the life cycle of construction, multidisciplinary company, construction company, or even design company, say, well, we could use this solution also as an open data, central data repository, central data lake, so that there is no loss of all these different data that we get during the construction of the life cycle of the project. But you will hear more in a few minutes. And then, obviously, our mission is to help the construction industry to be much more sustainable. And that's why different solutions across planning, design, build and construct, but also operate and manage, we have different ways to help around the sustainability and energy efficiency of construction assets and especially buildings. So we as Nemetschek are really driving these 4 trends across the construction life cycle, from interoperability, AI in a trustworthy and ethical way, digital twins, and sustainability. So the Nemetschek Group, we are present in 2 main markets, main industry. First of all, AECO software. So planning, architecture, engineering, construction, and operate and manage. So these 3 divisions are really dedicated to the life cycle of construction, infrastructure, and building. And then we have a separate business, as I mentioned before, which is media and entertainment with our brand Maxon. And Maxon is doing 3D animation software, visual effects software, rendering software, where the customers are game developers, Bollywood, cinema industry, broadcast industry, but also some architects are using some part of Maxon product for the nice rendering of their 3D model, for example, Archicad from GRAPHISOFT or ALLPLAN, or Vectorworks. Then if you look at these three divisions, so planning and design, it's 50% of our total revenue. Our main brands is ArchiCAD with GRAPHISOFT and Vectorworks for architecture firms, interior design also for Vectorworks, and very strong in landscaping. We have ALLPLAN for design to build, engineering solution. We have also within ALLPLAN SDS2, steeling, detailed design, which is also used here in India, SDS2. We have precast solution. We have also structural engineering and analytics software, such as RISA, which is based in the US, but we have now also a version for the Indian market, and RISA is also deployed here in India. Then in build and construct, our main brand is Bluebeam. Bluebeam represents 25% of the total revenue of the Nemetschek Group. Bluebeam has over 3 million users, and Bluebeam is doing a collaboration software to exchange PDF file and to do markups. Used by also architecture firm, multidisciplinary firm, but also, of course, construction companies. GoCanvas, brand new company that we just acquired beginning of this month. GoCanvas is based in Washington, DC. They do field management software, job sites, safety software, and also fire software. They are not present yet in India, but now that we are launching Nemetschek India here in Mumbai, we will also see opportunities to develop GoCanvas for field management in the construction industry here. And NEVARIS, it's an ERP for construction company, but really dedicated to Germany. And then in operate and manage, we have SPACEWELL, which is doing space management, workspace management, especially for hybrid workforce management. As an enterprise and a bank, as a ministry, as a tenant, I want to make sure that I can manage my workforce working from home and also working in the office to maximize my office space. But SPACEWELL is also doing energy management software. And then CREM, it's an ERP for property manager. And as I said, we have this digital twin business, which is more on horizontal, with dRofus, which is doing data management software. So making sure that as an owner, for example, Amazon for data centers or logistic centers, or if I'm an hospital and clinic, all the specifications as I have as an owner, they are not lost during the life cycle of the project. And therefore, when I deliver the project, I make sure that all the specifications and the data are still intact. And then dTwin, I just mentioned, is our new open data-centric digital twin platform that NC and Mark will present in a few minutes. So, the Nemetschek Group, we are the second largest software company in Germany. We are one of the top 5 largest software company in Europe. And we are one of the top BIM and construction software company in the world. We have over 7 million users of our technology across the group. 50% of our revenue is in Europe, 40% in North America, but only 10% in Asia Pacific, and it's more Pacific than Asia, so it's mainly in Australia and New Zealand. We are strong in Japan, okay, in Singapore and Hong Kong, but clearly India is today a small market for us, where India is the 3rd largest construction market in the world. And that's why, we want to make sure that we are now dedicating a lot of resources and investment here in India. We already have, for the last 10 years, an engineering and software product development office in Hyderabad. And we have decided to open this week a Nemetschek Mumbai office dedicated to sell and promote and market the overall Nemetschek product portfolio and to help the Indian construction industry and all the players to be more efficient and more sustainable, and also to help education to really teach and help universities and students about our products, how they can help the industry. And that's why yesterday, I was also meeting with the Deputy Prime Minister here and also other ministers to help the government also and to do a strong partnership with the Indian government. So the Nemetschek company, we started 60 years ago. Professor Georg Nemetschek started this company in 1963. Small engineering firm in Munich, Germany, which became today the second largest listed software company in Germany with over 10.5 billion euro of market capitalization, and one of the largest software company in Europe, and the top 2 BIM software provider. And I have a short video describing these 60 years of success.
The modern world we live in was shaped by people. And it was way back in 1963 that Georg Nemetschek first started to put the tools to do that in their hands. From one man's vision came Nemetschek. Through curiosity, pioneering, and our entrepreneurial approach, we came to understand the power of new technologies. We leveraged them into some of the earliest software for those ambitiously shaping our world. We learned, innovated, and constantly challenged the norms. Throughout one of the most tumultuous and rapidly changing periods in human history, we've grown, adapted, and helped shape the direction of travel. We've been there for the designers, innovators, pioneers, and builders. In a fast-moving world, we've always known the power of what technology can do, of how it can enable the greatest minds. We've seen what pushing the boundaries can achieve. We've never given up on those who want to craft the future and build a better world, or stopped believing in what might be possible. For decades, we've invested in the best people and technology to support and enable this critical industry. We've spent 60 years honing and perfecting what we do. No one knows those who design this planet or the tools they really need better than we do. We're the Nemetschek Group, and we help people shape the world.
We are the Nemetschek Group, and we help people shape the world in all dimensions. And this is what we want to do now in India. And it's important for us to really see the different angles that we are going to target in design and planning, in build and construct, but also in the operate and manage phase. And that's why for us, education is key, as I mentioned before. NC is going to talk about it, but we really want to push more digitalization in the market. We want to educate young talent about our different solutions and how they can help you, but also the overall ecosystem to be more efficient and more sustainable in India, but also potentially, of course, if they decide to go across the board, because we are really lacking a lot of skilled resources in digitalization in construction everywhere in the world, especially in Europe, but also in North America. And that's why we want to do that in a very strong way, in collaborative way with the local government here in India. And last but not least, when you look at Nemetschek India, what NC and the team will do now here is that we are really targeting cost-effective package, product, and pricing dedicated to the Indian market, with different bundle and bouquet and suite of products that we are dedicating here for India, and NC will describe it. So enjoy the event. I hope to talk to most of you later with few drinks and food. And yeah, let's make the most of it. Thank you.